and welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Bo and Golf, and of course, a recap of 2013. I'm going to start it off with a great, not so great news. That was sarcastic. A living cost that increased for this year. Now, September 1st wasn't a great day, let me tell you, because the LPG price increased, and a lot of people actually were not very happy with it, especially those people, especially the taxi driver who actually install their cars to the use of LPG in order to reduce costs.
Yes.
But of course, when the cost of LPG hikes, the gas is used for cooking as well. So a lot of the vendors ended up adding a little bit more money into the cost of their dishes.
Yeah, it seems like it was a domino effect.
It was, and some of them actually increased it even before the LPG prices. So that caused a little bit of a problem as well. Now, like I said, September 1st of this year marks the day where 3 hikes altogether started at the same time. Is the electricity bills that increased a little bit per unit, as well as the expressway passed. Now, each of the expressway, they say that from the 45 baht, they increased another 5 baht to 50 baht. For some, that might be quite all right. It is not so bad, but don't forget, if you use expressway right here in Bangkok, it would create quite a bit of a nuisance because that add on to your cost of living as well. Each day, the transportation costs a little bit more, and each of the expressway pass will actually means that you will have to go on paying a little bit more than you usually do. So each tolls you pay 5 baht more. If you pay 2 of them, that means 10 baht increase per day, or even for some people might be 20 if you do a round trip. All right, as well that's for the 5 baht, from 45 baht to 50 baht, that's for the just a sedan. However, for 6-wheelers and 10-wheelers, it's from 70 baht to 75 baht, and the more than 10-wheelers from 100 to 110 baht at this point. And also there has been an increase, like I said, of electricity bills per unit, as well as the LPG price and the eggs price. At one point, it went as high as 8 to 9 baht per egg. Mm-hmm. It was just at that time is
ridiculously high.
Exactly, and normally you won't want to, you're not going to crave for eggs that much until you cannot have it, or you can have it, but with the higher price, and that was the case for me anyway. And plus, there has been quite a bit of trying, a help, which gonna tie into what Kun Bo gonna have to say, is the Commerce Ministry is trying a little bit to come up with different strategy, blue flag and such, and also a policy by Kun Nattawut Saikia. Right?
That's right. Mm-hmm. So just to tie into that about the Commerce Ministry, it was, I don't know if it was because it was a success for what he did, or it was because of a particular clip. That was a song, right? An MV that was done after. But okay, this is to talk about the Commerce Ministry launching the Cho Hui Cho Soi project. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like the mom and pop store coming back alive, mm-hmm. in a way. So just to help, just to help out lots of the consumers,
exactly.
as well, right? Instead of just turning to the hypermarkets and big supermarkets instead, this time the small mom and pop shops, or this Cho Hui Cho Soi project was launched. Now the first one was launched between April the 25th to May the 15th, and they said that it was a huge success. Consumers spending over 700 million baht during that period, and wholesalers saw an approximate 13% increase in their sales, mm-hmm. whereas the retail stores boasted an average of 17% sales rise. So thanks to that success, the Thai Retailers Association decided to join hands with the Department of Business Development.
There you go. the dance.
Yeah, and that's where the second 秋会秋水 project or event was done. And that one was scheduled for September the 9th all the way to the 30th. It was approximately around 2 or 3 weeks. So what you see now is one of the MVs that was done in promotion. It was said that it was because of the success, of the projects. And he looks very...
You never seen the deputy minister doing MV, that's for sure, or the staff of the ministry, mind you.
Yeah, so this is one of the songs that was done, but it was interesting because it was also taken off of YouTube. Did you know that?
Oh, that's sad.
Right. They said that despite the fact that there were around 50,000 viewers who watched this clip, there were also lots of people who criticized it, saying that, are you serious?
Hey,
and I think it's because
along, actually.
I think it's because of some of those criticisms. That's why you can no longer see the clip anymore.
Oh, bummer.
But there was also some of the people mentioning that maybe it was because they borrowed the tune from some other foreign songs.
Yeah,
but yeah. Anyways, that's coming from the Commerce Ministry. Moving ahead now with another case or policy of the rice pledging scheme.
Oh, that one was
very, very controversial indeed. Sending a very foul smell as well for the particular scheme here.
Yes.
Now, it was due to the fact that there were lots of the rice farmers that were not given their payments. It was the late payments that was a problem. And it was because of promises that were made and it wasn't seen through.
Yeah, the 50,000 baht per ton.
Exactly.
Right?
So that was the case where the government has spent as much as 680 billion baht in 4 of the harvest seasons over the last 2 years, but it could sell only 135 billion worth so far. So that's the amount. 680 used, 135 was sold. So the government has allocated another 270 billion baht to finance the 2013 to 2014 main crop. So that adds to more other numbers, just complicates it a whole lot more. So in the delays of the Commerce Ministry's rice stockpile sales, which is the main problem there, right? It has also been blamed for the liquidity crunch. The government said that it plans to buy 16.5 million tons in the current harvest year, and the remaining 130 billion baht in the 270 billion budget will come from the state rice stockpile sales. So the main problem is basically to accelerate the selling of the rice in its stocks. And that's one of the controversial cases. I think it was also one of the main grilling issues that was done during some of the debates by the opposition side
because
as well.
Because we have a lot of rice in stock that were unsold, and plus there was at one point a talk about the China will speed train with the rice as well, and the Chinese officials have to come out and say that it's not exactly like that, but similar to it. So various policy that was quite interesting, as well as the whole high-speed train and such.
Right. So since you've mentioned about the high-speed train, about the infrastructure plans and etc., another policy, guess what? Of course, the 2.2 trillion baht loan that was mentioned. Very controversial, at least coming from the opposition side, to say that it's not transparent. What are you using it for? Be more clear and etc. And the government was able to answer some questions up to a certain point, but not all.
Exactly.
And I guess that leads to why it was a big issue that we decided to recap for 2013. Just interestingly here, from one of the Democrat deputy leaders, Gorn Jatikawanit, mentioning that the scale of this borrowing falls outside the normal budget scope, and therefore it's unlawful. And the bill is the largest single amount ever borrowed by a Thai government, and the Pheu Thai party-led administration intends to use these loans to finance the transport infrastructure, especially, like you said, the high-speed trains, as you can see there, and the double-track railways. So we saw the transport minister, right, Kun Chachat Sittipan, he came out so often. I remember, just whenever we see his face, it would be about the routes, the BTS, the particular bullet trains, and everything that's about the infrastructure, just to assure the people that this really is worth it.
Right.
And they even had lots of the exhibitions that were done to try to give enough information to the people.
Going to different provinces.
To mention that the 2.2 trillion isn't going anywhere. It's going to be spreading through these routes and rail tracks throughout the country. And that's the explanation that was given there. But still, it was talked about a lot. Definitely, indeed.
Yeah, because the 3.5 billion baht, the water management scheme, was actually part of that as well. All right, with that, we're going to take another short break. But when we come back, the biggest news, I would say for this year, especially where it's involving the Cambodia as well, the conflict that we seem to have. I don't think we have that much of a conflict, but obviously during the time, all the time, the Preah Vihear temple, it seems to be one of those almost like a big elephant in a room that everybody's just, cannot turn a blind eye. Finally, this year, the ICJ actually ruled on the Preah Vihear case. As well, Kun Bo will give you a little bit about the opening of the bridge for the Thai-Laos Friendship Bridge, another one. So please stay tuned.